this requirement. So you see that UL label, you show your power company, it meets UL 1741. They should say, great, and not worry about their linesman. They still will probably make you have a manual disconnect so that they can come around and prove to themselves, beyond any doubt, that you aren't sending electricity out there. So you'll have a big disconnect on the side of your house. They can come around and flip that. They require that, but I have never heard of a linesman coming and actually flipping that disconnect. In California, there's thousands of these systems, and it's just totally unrealistic to think that the power company is going to run around and flip all these disconnects before they work on a down line. But they're starting to go away from it. Some utilities are dropping this requirement, but most of them still require it, and it's just kind of an expense and a nuisance for you, but you'll probably run into it. If you are putting this grid tie system into your home, typically your home is going to be single phase, 240 volts. And so you buy an inverter that has that output. You can also get three-phase inverters. And three-phase can be 208, 277, or 480. I'm not going to try to draw what three-phase looks like, but I drew the 240 single-phase. Imagine there's a third line in there, and they're all like one-third off from each other. And so it makes for very clean power, largely in commercial operations, like a big, really big motor, 10s and 20s and 30s of horsepower. Three-phase motors are really efficient, and industry almost exclusively uses three-phase. So when you are thinking about your inverter, you better know what your power requirement is. If it's your home, you're probably 240. If it's a commercial building, it's very likely going to be three-phase, and make sure you get the inverter that matches the requirement of your building. Battery-based inverters, 120, 240, almost exclusively. Very few battery-based inverters go into commercial buildings, at least in my experience. Again, though, make sure if you're getting a battery-based inverter that it's going to do the output you want. Typically, they're 120. If you need 240, your usual process is to buy two inverters. And the two inverters will each do 120, and they can be tied to each other to make a good 240 output. Again, they have to be able to talk to each other so that they are in sync. When one's high, the other's low. They can't be jagging all over the place. So that is something that is also part of the design and part of the equipment you have to buy, is to get a communication link between the two inverters to make sure that they stay in phase with each other. Efficiency. This is a factor that you have to think about, and a lot of it has to do with, it's a bigger importance if you're doing off-grid and battery-based. If you're trying to design a system that will meet your needs with a battery-based system, you're probably going to have to figure out, how much electricity do I need? How much energy do I need in my home? And if you're building it with solar, you go, okay, I need to put this much solar up, and I want it to charge batteries and deliver this much power, this much energy to my home. I'm going to run my TV 6 hours a day. I'm going to have my lights on, 3 lights. And, you add it all up and figure out, okay, how much energy do I need to meet my needs? And the inverter is going to take that battery and solar power and convert it to your needs. Well, the inverter is going to have losses. And so you better build that in. Most inverters are operating about 90% efficient. So you better build at least 10% or 15% or more into your solar panel design to make sure that you have the energy with these losses. And there's some other losses you have to figure too. Batteries, yes?
What is the life expectancy of an inverter?
The inverters seem to be pretty good. They're coming with 1- and 2-year warranties, and it's hard to make a generic statement here. The grid tie inverters are now coming with 5- and I think 10-year warranties. The battery-based inverters have typically been 1 and 2 year, and you could buy an extended warranty. Unless something bad happens, inverters seem to last a long time. I know people that have had a good inverter for over 20 years in their home off-grid, and it's working just fine. The worst thing that seems to happen to inverters is lightning strikes. Nothing to do with the inverter itself. It's an outside event that will damage the inverter. Although sometimes they still have flaky things happen that need repairs. A lot of times